Okay, so today's video at Ashford Brewing is going to be doing a yeast starter. So these are a couple of the items that you're going to need. We typically do 10-gallon batches here. So you need 2 packets of dry yeast. From what we've figured out here, that you use 2 cups of dry malt and about 6-7 cups of water. Get that boiling here, and you need some Star San cleaner, sanitizer, and a nice stir plate, some distilled water, a piece of tin foil, and some yeast nutrient that we use is Go Firm, and we have 5 grams of that measured out right now. And we'll get this water boiling, and we will mix up this dry malt in here. Let this boil. You want to let that boil for about 5 minutes so everything is all sterile. Now this is something that will get to a boil and get kind of out of hand. So you just need to watch it and keep stirring because it will boil over the pan. Alright, and while that's starting to boil up for us, we need to hydrate our yeast. So I'm gonna cut these open, add this to our 2,000 milliliter flask. Then I will add our Go Firm, and then add some distilled water, and we'll let that get all mixed up together, and then we'll wait and add our dry malt to it. Alright, so our yeast is hydrating here, and we're going to take our aluminum foil and spray a little bit of Star San on that, and then just top that and just set it over the top of our flask. Get a little opening in there so some air can breathe out of there, and just let that sit while our yeast is going here. We're going to keep stirring and stirring so we don't have a boil over. And like I said, we're just going to get this boiling for about 5 minutes so it's all sterile, and then we just need to put this in an ice water bath to chill this out. Then we can add it to our flask and place it on our stir plate there and let it sit overnight, and the yeast should be pretty healthy and very active tomorrow for our brew day. Alright, and this has been boiling here for about 5 minutes, and just keep stirring so we don't have a mistake. This dry malt gets to be very sticky when it gets all over everything. Alright, just coming off of 5 minutes here, getting my ice bath ready so we can chill down our malt. So we just got to get this, from boiling down to about 60, 68 degrees. So we will just keep stirring this and stirring this in this ice bath. And the temperature of this mixture is definitely important. You don't want it to be too hot. If it's too hot, you'll kill off the yeast that you got trying to start and hydrate in the flask. So you just want to keep stirring and stirring and stirring and chilling this down. Our dry malt here is all cooled down. So I have this nice measuring cup here that has a long skinny snout on it, and that'll help us be able to pour it right directly into the top of the flask. So that's how we'll get it in there. Now that dry malt is all sterile now, so this has just been sitting around, washed it out, but that's when you bring your star san out, spray it all around, because this is what is going to be your final thing to add to your yeast. So you want to make sure everything's all sterile, so you don't have any cross-contamination of anything or any other yeast cultures or anything growing. So get this all cleaned up, and then we'll add our dry malt to this and pour it in. Alright, see, and then we're just pouring it in. So the dry malt's going in there, gives it something for the yeast to be eating. So then we'll have a nice healthy yeast culture here to start up our beer for tomorrow. Like I said, we'll just bring it over here, set it right on top of the stir plate, pop your sanitized aluminum foil over, tent it up. So all the CO2 and air can come out of there. And that's what we got. About 1,600 milliliters of some yeast slurry, hopefully.